Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's tutorial is going to be the 6th video on our Pinterest inspired series. Correct me if I'm wrong, I've actually lost count, but I'll be teaching you how to make a very beautiful mesh long sleeve sweater or crop top. And I teach how to make mine for a size large because that's what I wear. For my own top, I opted for a fingerling yarn or a lace yarn, and that's because I wanted my top to be lightweight. But you can make use of any yarn at all that you have. Just make sure you get your measurements right. I will be using this to teach you how to make the stitches before we switch back to this yarn, and that's because I feel this is more visible than this yarn. If I use this to stitch, you might not see what I'm doing clearly. So this is a 5-ply medium weight yarn, and I'll also make use of a 3.5mm hook, stitch markers. If you don't have this, you can use a different color of yarn, it doesn't really matter. And most importantly, your measuring tape. You'll be needing this, trust me, get one. Now let's get into the tutorial. So before we begin, you will need to take a very quick and easy measurement. Get your tape and wrap it around your bust, the fullest part of your bust. I'll leave a diagram on the screen that teaches you how to do that. The diagram is not mine and I got it from Pinterest. So once you have your full bust measurement, if you want the same fit as mine, you have to deduct 4 inches from your full bust measurement. Don't be worried when you make your panels and it looks very small. It stretches, like the pattern really stretches. So deduct 4 inches if you want your top to be very snug, but if you want it oversized, you can add 6 to 8 inches to your full bust measurement. So my full bust measurement is 36 inches, and 36 minus 4 is 32. So once you have that figure, you divide it by 2. Now 32 divided by 2 for me is 16. So I know that the measurement for the foundation chain of my front and back panel should be 16 inches. So if you're making yours oversized, do the same thing. Add 6 to 8 inches depending on the ease you want to your full bust measurement, and you divide it by 2. Now let's get into the tutorial. So to begin, start by making a slip knot. So now you're going to make enough chains that measures up to your foundation chain measurement, and you have to make sure it's in the multiple of 10 plus 2. So I'm done with mine. I did a total of 82 chains, and it actually measures up to 18 inches. But the reason why I made mine 82 is because that's the same amount of chains that I used for my fingerling yarn, and it measures 16 inches. So I'm actually using the same amount of stitches I use for my main projects. Remember, this color is just for demonstration, so you see exactly what I'm doing. For row 1, make 4 chains extra, and you're going to skip the 4 chains that you made and go into the 5th chain and make a double crochet. And our starting chain here counts as 1 double crochet. Now chain up 9, skip 9 chains and go into the 10th chain with a double crochet. Chain up 1, into that same chain space make a double crochet. Now chain up 9, skip 9 chains, and go into the 10th chain with a double crochet. chain up 1, and into that same chain space you make a double crochet, chain up 9, skip 9 chains, and into the 10th you make a double crochet, chain up 1, into that same chain space you make a double crochet. So you're going to repeat the pattern till you get to the end of the row. To finish up, chain up 9, and you're going to skip 9 stitches like we've been doing, and in the next stitch you make a double crochet. In the last stitch you make a double crochet. Now for row 2, chain up 3 and turn your work. Skip the very first stitch here and go into the next and make a double crochet, chain up 9, and you're going to skip the chain space and go into the chain space here, and you make 1 double crochet, chain 1, then you make another double crochet into the chain space, chain up 9, and you're going to skip this chain space and go into the chain space here in between the double crochet, and you make 1 double crochet, chain 1, and make another double crochet, chain up 9, skip the chain space here, go into the chain space in between the double crochet, and you make 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet again into that chain space. Now repeat this till you get to the end of the row. To finish up, so you're going to make a double crochet into the stitch here, and into the 4th chain of your starting chain you make 1 double crochet. That's it for row 2. For row 3, chain up 3 and turn your work. Skip the very first stitch here and go into the next with a double crochet. Chain up 4, and now we're going to do something a bit different. So you're going to skip this chain space here and we'll walk into the 2nd chain space. Skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 5th you're going to make a single crochet. So insert your hook into the 5th chain like so, and make sure that this is over your hook because we have to yarn over both chain spaces. So yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through to make a single crochet. Now chain up 4, and you're going to make a double crochet into the chain space here just like we've been doing. Chain up 1 and make another double crochet, chain up 4, and we'll repeat what we did here. Skip 4 chains and insert your hook into the 5th chain. Yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through to make a single crochet, chain up 4, and inside the chain space here you make 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain up 4, and we'll do the same thing we did here. Chain up 4. Now into the chain space, make 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. So just repeat the pattern till you get to the end of the row. So to finish up, make 1 double crochet into the stitch, then you make 1 double crochet into the third chain of your starting chain. And that's it for row 3. For row 4, chain up 3 and turn your work. And you're going to skip the very first stitch here, go into the next and make a double crochet. Chain up 9. And skip all of these chain spaces here and go directly into the chain space in the middle of the double crochet stitches. And you make a double crochet. Chain up 1 into that same stitch, make a double crochet. Chain up 9. And you're going to skip all of the chain spaces here, go into the chain space in between the double crochet stitches and make a double crochet. Chain up 1 and into that same chain space make a double crochet. So just repeat the pattern till you get to the end of the row. So to finish up, skip all of these chain spaces here and go into the double crochet stitch. Make a double crochet. In the third chain of your starting chain here, you make a double crochet. So this is where we're going to stop. You're going to repeat from row 2 to row 4 till you're okay with the length of your top. So guys, look at mine. I did about 30 rows and this measures 14 inches, which is perfectly okay for me. Also, I stopped working at my row 3 repeat. To finish up, chain up 1 and you cut. So go ahead and make another panel exactly like the one you just made. I will come back and attach both of them together. Now, the next step in our project is to create a neckline. And if you look at my work, you notice I've already mapped out my neckline. So what I did, let me use this one that doesn't have a stitch marker. I placed the top of my work around my neck to determine how wide I wanted it to be. So if you want yours smaller, just place it around your neck and determine how wide you want it to be. And remember, if you're making it snug, you have to stretch it out a bit because it's really going to stretch out on your body when you wear it. Another thing you need to take note of is the amount of stitches you skip on this side should be the same with the number of stitches you skip here as well. And the measurement for my neckline, when not stretched out, is 10.5 inches. I'm really okay with this. So map out your neckline and we'll come back and attach. So to attach, I'll be starting from one side of my neckline. Insert your hook on the last stitch here and insert your hook on the last stitch on the second panel as well. The last stitch here is the chain 3 starting chain, so I'll place my hook into the third chain. Then attach your yarn. So you can tie this up to secure. So insert your hook back into both of the last stitches on each panel and yarn over and pull through, chain up 1. Insert your hook into the next stitch on this panel and into the next stitch on the other panel as well. Then yarn over and pull through to make a slip stitch. Insert your hook into the next stitch on this panel and into the next stitch on the other panel. Yarn over and pull through to make a slip stitch. So you're going to do this till you get to where you placed your stitch marker, and I'll meet you guys when I'm done with mine. I've worked till I got to my stitch marker on both panels. Now take out your stitch marker and you're going to make your last slip stitch into chain up 1 and cut. So do the same thing you did here for the other side as well. I've done mine, then we'll come back and attach the sides together. So now we're going to work on attaching the sides together to create the armhole. And to determine your armhole, you have to first of all figure out how wide you want your sleeve to be. And I want my sleeve to not be too wide and not be too snug either, so I'll be going for 7 inches. Now I have to measure out 7 inches. This is where I'm going to place my stitch marker for now. Then you would need to do one more thing so that the pattern works out for you. So you have to make sure that the number of rows you skip is in the multiple of 4 plus 2. So for me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you see, mine is not going to work out because mine is in the multiple of 4 plus 3. So I'm going to take out my stitch marker and place it on the 14th stitch. So once you figure that out, you're going to skip the same amount of stitches on both sides of your work and we'll start attaching. And I'll be starting from the side of my top. Now insert your hook into the last stitch on this panel, and since I have the chain 4 starting chain here, that will be the first chain of the starting chain, and into the bottom stitch on this other panel as well. Then attach your yarn. So now you're going to insert your hook back into both panels and chain up 1. So from now onwards, you're going to be attaching the rows on this side with the corresponding rows on the other panel as well. And I like to place at least 2 slip stitches into each row. You can place more. You can also do this with your darning needle. I just prefer to attach with slip stitches. So just repeat till you get to your stitch marker. So I've made my slip stitches till I got to where I placed my stitch marker. So now chain up 1 and cut. Take out your stitch marker. Now I have my 14 rows left for my sleeves. So do the same thing you did here for the other side as well. I've done mine, and when you're done, you turn your work to the front. Let's create the sleeves. So now we're going to start making the sleeves, and I'll start from this side. What I like to do is I insert my hook into this tiny bump here, created by the very last slip stitch we use in attaching the sides. and attach your yarn. Insert your hook back, yarn over and pull through, chain up 4. So these 4 chains count as 1 double crochet and a chain 1 space, and insert your hook back into that bump, and you're going to make a double crochet. This is how your work should look like. Chain up 9, and we'll be working in the sides. Skip 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into the 5th and you make a double crochet. Chain up 1, set your hook back into that stitch and you make a double crochet, like so. Chain up 9, skip 4 rows, and into the 5th here you make a double crochet, chain up 1 and make another double crochet, like so. Chain up 9, skip 4 rows, and now you should be at the side where you joined your neckline. So we're going to make the next double crochet into that bump created by the slip stitches we made for the neckline. Chain up 1 and make another double crochet. So chain up 9, and you continue the pattern. Skip 4 rows, you make double crochet, chain 1, double crochet till you get to the end of the row. So guys, I've gone around with my double crochet and chain 9 space, and I have a total of 4 rows remaining before my starting chain. So I'm going to make 9 chains, and I will slip stitch into the 3rd chain of my chain 4 starting chain here. Slip stitch into the chain space, like so, and you're going to chain up 4 again. Into the chain space, you make a double crochet. Chain up 9, skip the chain space, go into the chain space in between the double crochet stitch and you make a double crochet, chain 1, then you make 1 double crochet, chain up 9, and into the chain space here you're going to make a double crochet, chain 1 and another double crochet. So repeat the pattern around till you get to your starting chain here. I repeated the pattern around till I got to my starting chain here. Now I'll make a slip stitch into the 3rd chain of my starting chain. So we're basically just repeating the pattern, but we're doing it in the round. Now make a slip stitch into the chain space here, chain up 4, and you make a double crochet into that same chain space. Now chain up 4, and you're going to make a single crochet in the 5th chain of the bottom chain space. chain up 4, and into the chain space here you make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain up 4, and make a single crochet into the 5th chain of the bottom chain space here. Chain up 4, and you make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain space. Now repeat the pattern around till you get to your starting chain. I repeated the pattern around till I got to my starting chain here. So now make a slip stitch into the 3rd chain of your starting chain. For row 4, slip stitch into the chain space, chain up 4, and into the chain space you make a double crochet, chain up 9, and you're going to skip all of this and go into the chain space here and make a double crochet, chain 1, into that same chain space make a double crochet, chain up 9, yarn over, skip all of this, go into the next chain space here and make a double crochet, chain up 1, into the chain space again you make a double crochet. So repeat the pattern around till you get to your starting chain. So I've repeated the pattern around till I got to my starting chain here. Now slip stitch into the 3rd chain of your starting chain. So from here onwards you're going to repeat from row 3 to row 4 till you're okay with the length of your sleeve. I will do mine off camera, come back and tell you how many rows I did and also give you my measurement. I'm done with my sleeve. I did a total of 39 rows and this measures 21.5 inches. You can make yours shorter, you can make yours longer. And to finish up, chain up 1 and cut. So guys, go ahead and do what you did for this sleeve for the 2nd sleeve as well. I'm already done with mine and this is where we're going to end today's tutorial. Hide your loose ends and let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed making this. I'm interested in seeing videos of your work, so if you ever get to make this, feel free to send it to me through any of my social media handles. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. For now, bye. See you guys in another tutorial soon.